Are you a gamer looking for something more than just playing? Introducing EliteDuels, the world's first skill-based daily fantasy esports platform that allows you to make your own fantasy esport team, cheer your favorite professional gamer, earn fantasy points, and win real cash. You can choose and enter a contest for games like Fortnite, CSGO, Rocket League, and Rainbow Six Siege. Simply enter a contest, select 5 players, one from each tier to fill out your fantasy team, and start cheering. Sounds amazing, right? Visit www.eliteduels.com and start drafting.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to today's show. We're going to be doing a little bit something different. I'm actually going to be riding solo. I'm going to do a little bit of a preview on the upcoming playoffs for the Starladder Major. They start tomorrow, and what I'm going to be doing today is a preview. I'm going to go through all 4 matches. I'm going to do my picks for the quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals. And then I'm also going to do my fantasy draft and kind of the guys I'm high on versus the guys I don't think you should be looking at. And we'll be doing the draft for the quarterfinals only, and I'll also do a draft for all of the entirety of the playoffs as well. So again, today I'm going to try to keep it as short and simple and sweet. Try to give as much information as possible so that you can take that information and use it to draft your own team on EliteDuels.com, and we'll jump right into it. So Game 1, Ents versus Renegades. I think this one's relatively straightforward. I really enjoy how Ents has been playing. In my opinion, they've been the strongest team so far at the event. They look really well coordinated. They don't even look like they have any drama going in with the team right now, especially with the whole Alexi B incident that's occurring with him being benched after the major and Sonny stepping in, which is, again, we covered that in a previous video. I think is a little bit weird and strange that they did it before the event in the major. But if it was my organization, that's something I would have prolonged as much as possible. That's a fairly big decision right before the biggest tournament of the year. So, but again, I'm picking Ents to win this one 2-0 over Renegades. Game 2, Vitality against a Vanguard. A Vanguard is a little bit of a sneaky pick here. I think that they had the most surprising turnout so far in the event with the Swiss round robin. Obviously, we see teams like FaZe not advancing, and then you have Vanguard advancing, and that was a bit of a shock. But again, all props to them. I'm actually going to slightly favor Vitality in this one. I think a Vanguard takes one map. I wouldn't be surprised if Vitality does win 2-0, but I think it's going to go 2-1 in favor of Vitality. Then we go to the matches on Friday. We have NRG versus Navi. I mean, these next 2 matches are so hard to determine what's going to happen. How do you predict this? When I look at NRG and Navi, that's the first game on Friday. These 2 teams, I think, match up extremely evenly. When you look at the overall team and who has the better team aspect and core concepts of strategy with team play and with individual fraggers, I think NRG takes that a little bit. I think NRG does favor, as the stronger overall team, better individual players that can stand out and win rounds by themselves. I have to favor Navi, right? When you're looking at Simple, you're looking at Electronic, and even Flamey. I mean, Flamey, he does seem to be hot and cold, no pun intended, but with Navi, you see individual stars and plays get them through a lot of holes, and this is such a close game. I mean, you have NRG, the number 5 ranked team in the world, versus Navi, the number 6 ranked team in the world. Very, very hard decision. I'm going to give this slight edge to Navi. Even though Navi took it to the very last day to qualify, I think they have the experience at this level alongside with, I mean, obviously you have Zeus is probably the most experienced IGL alongside with Kerrigan right now in professional Counter-Strike. And he also, of course, has won a major. So he has that experience. He's been in these positions before. And then you couple that with the play of Simple, Electronic, and the support play of Boomich and Flamey. I think they're going to slightly edge NRG in this one, and I'm going to favor Navi to win this one 2-1. Now on to the main event, probably the game of the year, the match of the year. Astralis, number 4 in the world, I would argue they're probably number 2 just because of how they've been playing, and they're probably only ranked number 4 because they've haven't played that many games, against the number one team in the world, Liquid. What a matchup we get here. It's quite unfortunate that this isn't the finals, but hey, that's why you play a Swiss round robin. That's why you show up and make sure you don't go to the final day. Astralis went through 3-1. Liquid went through on 3-2. So I think we're going to see overtime in 2 of the 3 maps. I believe strongly that we're going to go to 3 maps. And it's, again, this is so hard because Astralis 100%, their team play is probably first or second. Like, if you're looking at overall team play and strategies, it's between Astralis and Liquid right now in the world. But when you have 2 teams that have very similar play style, they have very good strategy and overall team play, I then go to the individual players themselves. Where are the edges, right? So we start off with IGLs, Glaive and Nitro. I tend to side more with the player who's actually a little bit better. So in my opinion, I think Nitro has more skill than Glaive. However, I think Glaive is a better IGL. Not by a lot, but I think in terms of IGLing, he's a little bit better. So I'm actually going to favor Nitro in this case. I think Nitro takes the edge over Glaive, just simply because I take him as a better rifler, overall support player, and just a better fragger than Glaive. With Elige versus Device. You've got a 1.27 rating on Elige, a 1.21 rating on Device, and I have to favor Elige. And I'm not trying to, I'm wearing an Astralis hat actually, if you guys want to see. So it's not like I'm playing favorites here. Twist was with Magisk if I look at this, and again, very close, but I have to favor Twist over Magisk, and then you get to Naf versus Dupree. I think this is when the last 2, Dupree and Zipnix versus Naf and Stewie. I think this is the one where it's kind of 50-50, and I probably would slightly favor the 2 Astralis guys over the 2 Liquid guys. We see all the time Naf is a top fragger on Liquid, consistently top fragger. Dupree also and Zipnix also have that capability, but we haven't seen that consistency that we used to see. Zipnix obviously being the clutch god, but what about Stewie? He does the exact same plays. Like, he has the capability of doing the same thing. I think this matchup is going to be so close and so good. I definitely think that we're going to see 2 overtimes out of the 3 maps. We're 100% going to be seeing 3 maps. I'm going to go with Liquid. Going to move on to my fantasy picks now for the quarterfinals only. So again, you can go on EliteDuels.com right now. There are 3 contests specifically for the Starladder Major. One of them is 100% free. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is register and you can play. That's that simple. You just pick 5 players from each tier. Tier 1 being the highest rated players and Tier 5 being the lowest rated players. And you earn fantasy points based off of the performance of your CSGO players. You get 1 point for a kill, half a point for an assist, but you also lose half a point for each death that they have. So that's how it works. There's a little bit of strategy that goes into making your fantasy team, but it makes watching the game so much more enjoyable and so much more fun. So what I'm going to be doing right now is the Starladder quarterfinals only, $5 entry on EliteDuels.com. Quarterfinals only is that it's just the 4 games in the quarterfinals that you're going to earn fantasy points. It's not the entire playoffs. So once the quarterfinals are over, obviously that's it. What matches do I think, or what matchups do I think are going to go to a 3rd map, or are going to go to the distance? Have as many rounds as possible, because the more rounds that are played, the more possible fantasy points that you get to earn, and obviously gives you an advantage over other players. So in Tier 1, we're looking at Simple, Zywoo, Device, and Jame. Liquid versus Astralis is going to go the distance. We're going to see overtime most likely. So for that being said, I don't think he's the best player in this tier, but for the simple fact that I think he can get the most amount of fantasy points because he can play so many games and so many maps, I'm going to pick Device. In Tier 2, we've got Magisk, Zip, Elige, Electronic, Nav, Kykert, Breeze, and Twist. I'm going to stack the Liquid Astralis game, and I'm going to get as many players as I can from this match. So that being said, I'm going with strictly the best player right now in Tier 2, and possibly one of the best consistent, I would say top 3 in the world, behind Simple and Zywoo. I'm going to go with Elige. Tier 3, this is when, again, you still have some potential underdogs that you could pick, kind of contrarian picks, but I'm not going to go contrarian on this one. I'm actually just going to take what I believe is the best player overall, and I'm going to go Sergey. 78.8 fantasy points per match. I think they're going to beat Renegades 2-0. Obviously, there's that potential because Renegades are playing fairly well. The potential to get a third map in there, but I'm going to go with Ents and winning 2-0, and I think Sergey obviously is going to be the top performer in that match. In Tier 4, between Nitro and Glaive, and as said previously, I had a little bit of favoritism in terms of fragging ability and just pure scoring ability with Nitro, and I think he can get more fantasy points in the return when you draft him than Glaive can. So I will be drafting Nitro in Tier 4. Now, Tier 5 is typically the hardest. However, because these teams are so good, I mean, we're literally down to the top 8 teams in the world. There are a lot of good players here that can perform extremely well with you for your team. You're looking at Tarek, you're looking at Apex. You've got X7, who has been playing somewhat poorly in this event so far. And then you have Alexiv. Alexiv is probably one of the best ranked players in Tier 5 in terms of fantasy. He's got 67.1 fantasy points per match. The only closest player is Apex at 77.3. And the reason you could say Apex a little bit higher is because Vitality has played so much CS in 2019 with my boy Alexei B, because simply I think there's a script to be written here that he's out to prove something wrong. He is out to prove everybody wrong, especially in the Ents organization, that he should not be benched. I personally believe he should not be being benched, strictly based off of play. We obviously don't know what's going on behind scenes, but strictly off play, Alexei B should not be benched, and I'm picking him for my Tier 5. There are 3 contests starting tomorrow. As soon as the quarterfinals are done on Friday, there will be a brand new contest open on EliteDuels.com for the semifinals and finals. So you're going to have to pick your players for the semifinals, and you'll have to draft strategically to make sure you pick the players you think are going to advance to the finals, because you're going to earn points, fantasy points, for the semifinals and for the finals of this event. All you have to do is pick 5 players, 1 from each tier, and earn fantasy points. It's that simple, and it's a lot of fun. All you do is sit back, cheer on your players, and watch them earn you fantasy points, and watch the stats update in real time. So, after each game, you can see yourself moving up the leaderboard, down the leaderboard, and it just makes the overall viewing experience awesome. Or go register right now at EliteDuels.com. You can press enter on the free one, and that's it. You're in and ready to go. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you hit that like and comment button. Leave us some questions if you have some feedback for us. Always love to hear it. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Enjoy the major. Peace.